So today we are going to see the last concept, that is working with the setup and web setup project, and also something called as merging up project. So to do this, what you have to do is you have to open your published ASP.NET web service project, right? Then you can right click through the solution explorer and say add a particular new project to that. Then maybe you can give the name to your project, right? And if it's a ASP.NET web service, then you can add that hyphen underscore setup as a suffix, and then you can click on OK, right? Then several node points also can be added to that. It's all self-explanatory. Once you open that particular window, you will understand it. Maybe you can go to the file system, right click on the application folder, add certain points to that, right? Yeah. And then there is something called as a project output group which comes in. You can just say next, 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 okay. All those things will go in that particular order. Finally, you build. Right from new to build, there are some setups which happen for you. So the last concept is working with the merge module project. So what exactly is a merge module? You should know. It might be a 2-mark question which is asked. So merge modules are used to deliver shared code, files, resources, registry entries, and setup logic to the application as a single compound file. So what exactly a merge module does? So it cannot be directly installed alone. It must be merged into an installation package using a merge tool. So what exactly the developers have to do is, developers wanting to use this must obtain one of the freely distributed merge tools such as say mergemod.dll and use this. So merging means that these projects are not single in nature, they come as a part of package. Okay. So here is one example given, say a crystal report for a merge module, right? So there are some steps right from step 1 to step 8 have been given over here. You can just go through, that is for your understanding. That particular thing is been mentioned over there, like how exactly you should start the Visual Studio, what exactly you should do. Then you should click on the file menu option, go to the new project, then go to solution explorer, add your crystal report, whatever is that x86.msm, then build and finally run it for deployment. Okay. Then comes debugging and testing this. So debugging is nothing but process of finding the errors during your application execution. So it does not mean that syntax errors. There might be some logical errors as well. And debugging allows you, the developers, to see how the code works in a step-by-step manner, and how the values of the variable change, how the objects are created and destroyed, etc. So all these things can be done by debugging. We have seen that how exactly it should be done through the breakpoints. So what you can do is you can just press F5 over there, or also you can make use of the F11 option, okay, for having debugging. So when you are on line of the code, that is the function or the method call, you can always press that F10 instead of F11. So what does F10 do? F10 will advance you without stepping into the function directly onto your app code, right? And you can skip over the code that you are not interested in. See, there is a function call. So if you press on that F2, directly it will take you to the call function wherever the function is mentioned. So debugging and tracing classes are available in the .NET framework, and you can directly make use of them. So whenever the program runs, these are some of the things which are mentioned over here. So you can use the trace class to produce messages, and then just monitor those messages in the while execution, so that you will come to know where exactly you are going round. So always you can include those write line if, indent, unindent, assert, flush. All these statements will allow you to produce the output in such a way that it will help you in debugging. Okay. So what exactly is tracing? Again, you can include the trace, debug, event log, process. A lot of things are there. So performance counter classes for profiling your code, right? So that is debugging. And tracing is nothing but, so application tracing allows to see if any page request result in an error. So when tracing is enabled, an extra page called trace.axd is added to your application. Okay. So tracing appends diagnostic information and custom tracing messages to the output. I will tell you in simple terms how exactly tracing works. So you put an request from your system to say a server system. So some request is going from your system, that is a client system, to the server system, and then the server system looks for your request, and maybe once it processes the request, it will respond. So tracing, what exactly it will do is, it will keep a track of how exactly your request has moved from your system to the server system. What happened in the server system is not been mentioned, but again, after taking the response, coming it back from the server to the client, all this can be thought of as tracing. Or you can take an example of you leaving your house, coming, maybe going to the bus stop, taking a bus, then coming to this RPD stop, from there walking to your college, again completing the college, again going back to the same procedure. Maybe you go to the different bus stop while going back, or you follow a different route while going back to the your house. So this particular thing is called as tracing. Okay, so you can always configure your individual display pages to have that particular information. Again, this is all the part of additional learning which has been added, so you can go through that and come back. So if you know how to browse to this particular URL, you can always go to that localhost colon 53003/trace.axd, and you will see the entire information of that. Okay, so you can also see some errors if they are generated, right? So this particular example is confined to your web.config file, which is available under your solution explorer. Okay, there is one more term over here called as request limit. In the statement, it is used to enable tracing for your application, and it specifies the number of pages request that has to be traced. So that facility is also made available to you. Just make sure that in the page declaration, just append this line trace equal to true, so that it allows for your page levels to be traced. Okay, so with this we complete your unit 5.